Dark episode today is a reminiscence of my first publicly accused crime, which my mother got a phone call, sitting, in the kitchen at the time. We had a really cool kitchen table, actually, because it was sort of built into the house. It sort of divided the house, like on one side there's stools and on the other side there's stools, and then there was a post in between, which wasn't a post as much as it was kind of like a long bench seat. And one side was the living room, and into the other side was the kitchen. And it had a dial phone with a long cord, that my mother picked up, and it was the local kind of drugstore, not drugstore, corner store, local corner store. And it was like where we all bought candy and a certain amount of groceries. It took me like, it was like 2.5 clicks away, and it was like down a really steep hill. So if you wanted candy and stuff, you had to, easy to get down, but then you had to bike all the way back up that hill. And it was a mother of a hill, especially when you were our age. It was like 10 or 12. And so she picks up the phone, and it's the corner store. And the corner store is, hey, we have your 2 sons here, and we've caught them. It's like, you caught them? Yeah, they were trying to steal the Playboy magazine at the store. And my mother went, really? It's like, yeah, really. And she's like, well, that would be difficult because they are sitting here at this kitchen at the kitchen table with me right now. I'm looking right at them as we're talking. And what it turned out was that indeed it was a case of wrongful. They had the perpetrators, but they had the perpetrators given false names. The perpetrators being a set of brothers who, as far as I can tell, were, I think, from Argentina, or from Argentina or Brazil, something like that. Were kind of two sort of, for me being a cloistered little 12-year-old in Kelowna in the interior BC, they seemed like quite too worldly kind of young guys. They had gotten busted trying to steal the local corner store's supply of Playboy. And when caught, they ended up giving our names instead. So, and I was like, oh, I wonder why they decided to use us as fall guys. It's like, maybe they just went, okay, we need 2 brothers, and so they thought of us. Or did we kind of look like, those would be the 2 guys that would be, you're liable to think that they would have been, trying to steal Playboys from drugstores, which, I've definitely been raiding my father's porn collection by this point. So maybe they thought of us that way, of porn. Don't know if that was widespread knowledge at the time. But when kids, obviously share information like, ooh, what do you have kind of information. Interestingly enough, the corner store, I guess we must not have been that well known at the corner store, because they called my mother. They said, hey, we have your sons here. Senora Higgins, we have your sons here. So that was my first accused and guilty, but actually not guilty of that crime itself. I don't think, actually, that's the other thing, is my brother and I can't really speak for my brother, but for myself, I was an extremely boring kid. I don't think I actually ever stole anything from a store. I was definitely one of those kids kind of who was probably fairly morbidly, like, on the straight and narrow that way. Didn't skip school, didn't cheat on tests. Basically, a really, really boring kid. So an interesting one to pick as the fall guy for some larceny there. But yeah, it is May the 9th, 2021, and that is my durk episode for tonight. I just felt like saying that. Happy Mother's Day. Thinking of, yes, my mother, Pat Higgins, who died in March and who I have a kind of a relationship with. But in that case, she was sure of my innocence because I was sitting right in front of her at the time. Happy Mother's Day, Pat. More videos later.